You should be good. Yeah. You don't even have to hold it. No, it's gonna move. Oh no, it's not.
It's just to like prop it up. Yeah,
I think
pretty good.
That's
though.
what I mean. Yeah, it looks good.
As long as nobody touches it.
All right, let's go.
A lot of people left on program. You've had a bunch of changes in the place.
It was where the floor was like kind of uneven, so it balanced itself. Good. Yeah.
But you would think that younger generation would think the younger
But this guy never used to run it like that. Yeah. But yeah, but a lot of them don't even aren't even in their technical level. Like what their E7 there or something like that. Charm person. Too big a city. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you guys for being here today. I don't want to take up too much of your time because we're pushing into 11:30 right now. So welcome and thank you everyone for coming to the second annual Domestic Violence Awareness Walk and Memorial. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Yay! My name is Maria Montano. Most of you know me. I am a survivor of domestic violence, but I'm also an advocate, and I'm born and raised in this city, and I know many, 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 many people. So this is all for those that are struggling, bring awareness to the community, and invite you into Maine South. Also to acknowledge the tree for those that have passed or been victims of violence. Happy Saturday, and thank you for being here this morning. As you know, today is October 4th and the start to Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It is also the 175th anniversary of the National Women's Rights Convention, which took place here in Worcester, so please look out at the Worcester Historical Museum for some of the events that have coming up. I want to first acknowledge the anonymous sponsor for making this happen. For the friends that have been hiding behind the scenes, making this happen and supporting this event, I appreciate you. I want to acknowledge the following: Caleb Belageron of Proactive Families Advocacy, the Lighthouse Bulb LLC, Community Health Link, the City of Worcester Division of Public Health, City of Worcester of Health and Human Services, Gandera Center of Springfield, Pathways for Change, Worcester Public Library, for their partnership in giving me the resources for some reading material. The Worcester Police Department and their partners in law enforcement across Worcester County, the City of Worcester Parks Department, City Manager Eric Batista, the Mayor, Joe Petty, Quinsigamond Community College, and Worcester Addresses Childhood Trauma. I'd like to also acknowledge those in attendance that are elected officials or legislative representatives. Thank you, Representative David LaBeouf. You are my neighborhood district rep, so thank you. Thank you, Mayor Joe Petty, for being here. Paul DiPaolo from the Governor's Council, District 4 City Council, Louis Ojeda, and anybody else that I missed, I'm sorry. As most of you know, last year I was able to organize the first annual Domestic Violence Awareness Walk at City Hall, bringing awareness to such a sensitive subject. So this year I decided that I wanted to change locations that have a bit more meaning. In April of 2023, a tree was planted in honor of victims that have died by homicide 30 years ago. Stopping the stigma surrounding Maine South, speaking on DV and its impacts, and referring people to the resources in the crowd as a guide to better understand domestic violence and the healing process that comes after. I feel that educating people can help them better understand what is happening and let them know they are not alone. The tree is a living memorial, symbolizing not only remembrance, but also hope and growth for the future of the community, Worcester and Worcester County. This time, victims and survivors no longer have to live in fear and isolation, followed by stigma that comes with it, from community and culturally. We need to learn the signs and have more conversations on this topic. What abuse looks like. Where does it come from? Is it generationally taught or learned? Statistics say 1 in 3 women, 1 in 6 men, and 1 in 4 of those in the LGBTQ+ community will be affected. And it primarily affects women from all backgrounds, but mostly those from women of color. We need to support survivors and victims and let them know they are not alone. The more better we can learn and understand what healthy relationships look like, what unlearning learned behaviors and breaking generational curses may look like. DV, intimate partner violence, is not biased. It affects every culture, nationality, no matter your skin color or social status and age. It also does not always have to be physical violence. It can look like coercion, making people do things that they may not want to, manipulating, gaslighting, victimizing, and narcissism. I'm not saying we are diagnosing anyone. It is important to know what healthy relationships look like. I want to take this moment and give Kayla a chance just to introduce herself and what she does real quick.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you, Maria, for putting this all together, because literally this would not have been a success without you. So thank you. This is really amazing. My name is Kayla Baladron. I am a founder of a nonprofit called Proactive Families Advocacy, Inc., and we are a parent-led and community-led nonprofit of parents involved with DCF. We help other parents through peer mentorship, empowerment, and advocacy. We also help with creating House bills, which one of our members, Tiffany Scott, created this House bill and act relevant to, I'm sorry, not that one, over here.
Those two are up front, sorry.
Oh.
They're the same ones.
Oh, somewhere over here, there we go. An act relevant to supporting survivors of domestic violence and enhancing child welfare. So we definitely want to make a difference when it comes to parents being involved with DCF, because we know that domestic violence is a major cause of DCF being involved. And as a parent who was involved with DCF, I was labeled as the aggressor instead of the victim. So they are also one of our biggest abusers as well, and we need to take our power back, not just what we're doing in our lives, but also in our communities and helping other people. So thank you, Maria, for doing this with us.
No problem, Kayla. Thank you as well for taking my phone calls and text messages and emails and Zoom calls. So I want to take this moment just to advocate and speak on these bills that we keep talking about. Many people probably are like, what are they talking about? So I'd like to take the opportunity to mention the anniversary. I don't have it right now, but if you were at City Hall yesterday, it's House Bill 4744, and I want to thank all of legislation of Massachusetts, as it was a unanimous vote across the board, becoming the only the 7th state to recognize coercive control as a form of domestic violence. Currently, there are 2 bills that need to be voted on. Both the bills have already passed the House and went on to the Senate, and to create laws, you have to come up with an idea. You have to find a legislator who's willing to stand behind the bill and support the bill. that is meant to make change and help when it comes to domestic violence and other laws that pertain to community stuff. It's a lot of work, and so it has to go through the House first. You know, we have to have a rep that backs that up, and we are grateful for Rep. David LaBeouf, for always like standing and supporting domestic violence victims. Thank you. And then from there, once it passes the House, it then goes on to the Senate, and then you have to have all your senators pretty much vouch and support the bill, and then it turns into a law. We're grateful for the advocacy with the groups that we have been working with. A lot of times, as you know, old school rock, that they used to teach you how to create a bill into a law. It's a lot of work, and we're grateful that this bill in particular that we're talking about only took almost 2 years, which is not, it never happened. So we are super grateful. The next bills that we are asking support on right now is currently Senate 1205, an act to controlling and abusive litigation. It's been presented by our Senator Mike Moore from Worcester District. And then we have another bill presented by Senator Kennedy, the S145, which is an act relative to supporting victims of domestic violence and enhancing child welfare. And again, it was first brought up by our Rep. David LaBeouf. We are grateful to them and others that have been supporters of victims, and we look forward to working with them on future bills. I'd like to throw a quick plug in there. Remember, the local election is November 4th. You can register to vote at www.sec.state.ma.us. I encourage everyone that can register to do so and to participate, as this district in particular is the lowest in Worcester County, which is just sad. There are some important petitions on rent control, and the only way to sign is to be a registered voter. So if you see people out there at the grocery store, you know, you have to be registered to vote. It's almost like a club. You need the membership to be able to participate. So we need more people, especially from this district, to show up on November 4th and start participating in your local elections, because if we don't show up and we're not existent to it, then you have people in power that can make and change and do whatever you want without you being a part of it. So it's important for people to stay involved. I want to take this moment to allow the state leadership and those in legislation to speak. So if the mayor would like to speak now. Come on, Joe. And you can have Rep. David LaBeouf can speak as well in District 4. Yep.
Louis, come on down, and David, and Paul DePaulo. First of all, I just want to thank Maria for putting this on for 2 years in a row. And it's a lot of hard work putting a walk together.
Yes.
And so I want to thank you. And Kayla, thank you for everything you do too. Much appreciated. Of course, I want to thank David LaBeouf for taking the lead in this issue of domestic violence, along with Senator Moore. I know Fools for Haters very supportive too, because the domestic violence affects almost every line of people, and no matter where you come from. And we work together as a community to try to educate people. I think that's the biggest thing we can do. I know it's Rebecca here from the Police Department. I think it's Clark University is also here today. I understand the important issues that how this impacts people's lives, whether it be physical or emotional. And it crosses male, female, and young people too. And so that's why we're committed to putting resources into this in the city of Worcester, and the state is. David's been a leader on this, and Michael Moore has been a big leader at the state. Rules Who Haters, everybody's leader on every issue here in the city of Worcester. So, so I'm proud to be here with Maria and stand with you, and thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you to Maria for making this happen. You know, as a city councilor, you know, the mayor says, you know, I try to be the leader for everything. But going back to what Maria said, what's most important is really getting out and being involved, reaching out to your city councilors, letting us know what are the issues you are facing. You know, I'm not speaking for everyone here, but I'm pretty sure we've all experienced, you know, domestic violence with our friends or family members. And we probably know individuals that are going through that right now. And my, you know, just reach out, help out, reach out to another family member that can reach out to someone that can get them some support. You know, it is a tough issue. I've experienced it with family members, unfortunately, and close friends, and it's one of those things where you just don't know where to go or how to help. So again, you can reach out to us. That's fine. You can reach out to us. You can reach out to. That's fine. You can reach out to, again, elected officials, a family member, friends. You can also, reach out to the teachers at school who can help out as well. So thank you to all the agencies that are here. You do this work year round, right? And as a counselor, my job is to promote what you're doing to help out as much as possible. We're back on? All right, good.
Battery check, sorry guys.
That's like a tire change. That was good. But again, reach out to those resources. That's the way where me as a city councilor, we can have those conversations with the mayor and the city manager to make those things happen and support everyone. So thank you all for being here.
Kayla, get your
All right, I guess I'll use the bullhorn.
Yes, use it.
All right, so hi everyone. So my name is David LeBoeuf. I'm the state rep here for the 17th Worcester District, which includes Maine South and Crystal Park. And I really want to thank Maria and Kayla for choosing this site and the symbolism of it. This park, from when many of us were younger, saw how it was stigmatized because of some of the challenges and how the survivors and the victims of some of the violence that happened here were basically treated as less than because of the nature of what those crimes were that occurred to them. So to be able to take that narrative back, to really talk about these community issues in a constructive way that really brings light to it, but also at the same time shows that there is strength and that there are ways to do this without basically taking people and treating them like they're members of a leper colony that belong in a different part of our community. So I just want to talk briefly about the legislation that I filed around protections for survivors of domestic violence and child welfare. Essentially what the bill does, and I've co-filed it with Senator Kennedy, is that it will look at domestic violence not as an automatic determination of child neglect. And I'm sure many of you know, who are parents yourselves, who work with survivors, who work in law enforcement, that many people who are victims of domestic violence are afraid. They're afraid to talk about their abusers. They're afraid to go to court. Now imagine being afraid to talk to a counselor or someone for fear that your child might be taken away from you. When you are that only barrier of protection between your abuser and that child, and then that child can either never be reunified with you, be taken to a different system, or even worse, in some situations, be given to the custody of that abuser. So we really need to relook at that. Domestic violence is understood in a very different way now. Thankfully, the legislature, it's not a partisan issue, although it is a political issue. We did look at coercive control, and I know that Senator Moore's bill is around the same thing about using abusive legislation that is being used to target in particular orders to basically keep a survivor or a victim constantly within that orbit of that abuser. And so that's what that companion bill, which is something that I know our entire delegation from all quarters of the city supports. So thank you all for being here and looking forward to being part of the walk. And thank you for continuing to share your stories, to be an inspiration to all of us and to remind us, especially in government, what our job is and that what this fight is worth. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Paul DiPaolo. I'm the governor's counselor for Central Mass. We approve state court judges, and so my role working with the state courts is very much in partnership with the city and the legislature. In our probate courts, victims and survivors of domestic abuse are continually re-traumatized when there's a lack of trauma-informed justice in our system. And even with the laws that were discussed, like the way abusers can use litigation and constant frivolous filings in court to exert coercive control on their victims, we need judges who are sensitive to that. And so these are the issues I work on, and making sure our judiciary upholds these things. I'm a resource for you if you ever have challenges or issues in our courts. Governor's Council is a place you can go to try to get something redressed. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much to Maria and all the organizers for being here. It's really a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. like to read a passage from District 5 City Councilor Atel Hajiai. She couldn't be here today, but she'd like me to share some words on her behalf. I am sorry I could not be there on such an important day. Thank you, Maria, for organizing this walk and event and reminding us of the women and others we have lost to domestic violence. This year, we will read again the names of the women who were killed as a result of their partner, spouse, or relative. As we say their name, let us recommit to looking out for one another, teaching our boys to be good men. It always breaks my heart every time I hear of another woman being killed, suffering in silence for years, surrounded by people who knew but chose to stay silent. This past year in District 5, 2 children lost both their mother and father as a result of domestic violence. Domestic violence does not know zip code, race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status. As an elected official and someone who has worked toward empowering women and girls, I stand in solidarity with you all and will always advocate to raise awareness and break the stigma. Thank you so much, and I pray for each and every victim, their families, the communities, and friends they left behind. May we never forget. Thank you, Atel, for that. I just wanted to go over a couple statistics. I want to remind people that it takes up to 7 times for a victim to get out of this situation. It's even harder for those that have children. Be a friend. They can call at 2 a.m. when they don't know who to talk to. Your voice can be their safe zone and may even be the strength to get out of a situation. Since COVID, there has been a 3% uptick nationally, where we are seeing more children being murdered. 1 in 3 women will experience domestic violence starting as young as 15 years old, affecting primarily women and higher rates of women of color. 60% are done by a family member or intimate partner. 9.4% of teens reported being in an abusive relationship in the last 12 months. 1 in 5 teens and young adults are harassed through social media by their partners. 24 people per minute are victims of physical violence, rape, or stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 4 children will witness domestic violence, with 30 to 40% of them, 30 to 40% perpetrators will go after the children. 1 in 6 women will be victims of stalking, and survivors are 3 times more likely to develop PTSD, as they are 2 times likely to develop severe depression and other mental health issues. We also know that the most dangerous time for a victim of domestic violence is when they are leaving an abusive relationship. Post-separation can also be a critical time for a survivor and their children. I'd like for you guys, many have already, but this, take a time to look at the tables that we have with the information. There are informational posters, interactive boards. I want to say thank you to the Worcester Public Library again for their book references on TV, and posting my display at my flyer at the Worcester Public Library, which was pretty cool. I also want you guys to take a look at the power and control wheel that we have over here in the information. There's resources. It gives you a better understanding of statistics. It's not just, young teens and adults. We're seeing also elderly as well going through this too. So again, if we have the information and the knowledge of it, then it's not as stigmatized, and it gives people a chance to actually want to speak up a little bit more about it. It's a sensitive subject. It's not something that when you go to the doctor and they say to you, do you feel safe at home? We all know that is so you know what I mean? It's just there. It doesn't go into it. So we need to find ways to work together, even with the healthcare agencies and those that work with patients, to find a way that we can code it, that they can feel comfortable enough to say, I feel unsafe, but this is why I feel unsafe. And then what does that look like for a victim when they do speak up? What does that transition look like? So we just want to be mindful for that. At this time, I will be reading off the names. You guys can come up and grab a candle if you like, and hold on to the tea light candles, the white ones. You guys are welcome also to get some of the bracelets. We have stickers, we have necklaces, and we have ribbons and pins over here just in honor of domestic violence awareness. You can come and grab a tea light for yourself too to hold. Usually they have just white candles, and my brain always is running, so I find different ways. I'm gonna shut this off. My battery, not battery, second battery. I talked to you. So I changed it up a little bit this year. Usually you'll see white just candles for those that have passed, but I kind of wanted to change it up a little bit this year, and the purple ones that you see that are lit here are for those that have passed in significance to the ones that have passed in honor of the tree. And I'm going to rate their names off. I also chose a couple of other names that really stood out to me, and I wanted to honor them as well. At this moment, we will say the names of the victims of Crystal Park Memorial from 1995. Paulette Andrea, 43-year-old female, September 23rd, 1992. Denise Cuomo, 30-year-old female, December of 1992. Vicky Lightman, 42, female, January 10th of 1993. Sonia Blanco, 23-year-old female, February 4th, 1993. Evelyn Cruz, 25-year-old female, February 4th, 1993. I'm going to read off Janice LaCava, 51-year-old female, January 1994. Helen Chevalier, 27-year-old female, March 12th of 1994. If you've ever had a chance to walk into Hanneman Family Health Center, you probably see a plaque there. And the woman's name is Maria Perez. She is also a victim of domestic violence from 2000, and I wanted to honor her today. She passed on April 27th of 2000. I would like to also take this time, as we know during COVID, we saw 33% uptick on cases, and numbers and calls for DV. And I just wanted to take a moment to honor a victim from the Worcester County from 2021, Kristen A. Carey, 37-year-old female, who passed on January 2nd of 2021. In 2022, domestic violence, Worcester County, Osuma Chahat, 24, male, March 27th of 2022. Mariel Ramos de los Santos, 30, female, June 20th of 2022. Ryan Anderson, 29, male, October 1st of 2022. And Jessica Goodrich, 46, female, October 8th of 2022. Last year, I was able to honor those that had passed and were victims of homicide from domestic violence at City Hall. When we said the names, it was in October. And you know, we still had 2 months left to the year. So at this moment, I'd like to honor those from 2024 that we did not get to say their names. Bruna Flamuraj, 32-year-old female, November 7th, 2024. Unknown, November 26th, 2024, as the person has not been released yet in the information that I get. They haven't been able to let their family members know. Melissa Jennifer Pablo, 32, female, December 6th of 2024. Chantel Gillespie, 30, female, December 12th of 2024. And those are victims of domestic violence across Massachusetts in 2024. We will read off the names of the victims who have died by homicide in 2025. Rose Lamore, 28, female, June 13th, 2025. Jorali Santos, 18, female, June 18th, 2025. Rose LaCroix, 36, female, June 30th, 2025. Kylie Montero, 18, female, August 6, 2025, and was also carrying her unborn child. Marie Hunt, 37, female, August 8, 2025. Corrine Asatrian, I'm so sorry, 35, female, August 31st, 2025. And Nadia Abrahamian, 80, female, August 31st, 2025. Let's just take a moment to bow our heads and honor them. Thank you. At this time, sorry. I'd like to, again, I've never done any of this before. This is all coming from a place of survivor, what's worked for me, what tools have worked with me, the supports from those that I work with. And so I've created a pledge, and I'd love for everyone to sign it. There's a white poster board next to the DV resources, but it's a pledge and words of encouragement. As a community and society, we must commit to fostering healthy and safe communities where everyone can live in peace, be safe, and free from abuse and violence. Whether it's physical, emotional, financial, and the emotionals that no one can see. It can be detrimental because nobody can see the scars. Continue to be the voice for the voiceless and let them know they have support, even if you may not understand what they are going through. Many times, abusers use that against them. Their lack of supports, their family resources, and the supports in their community. Violence is not normal. Abuse is not normal. Intentionally wanting to hurt someone is wrong. And love shouldn't hurt. At this time, a lot of us that are survivors or victims, and especially the post-separation part of it, right? You're going through a lot of different levels of emotion. And for me and my process with therapy, and I'm grateful for her, she always made me kind of look at it as grieving a loss, the same way you would if you were losing someone you cared for, right? Even though that person has caused you so much pain, it's hard for people to kind of understand the emotions that you're going through, and that's hence why it takes people 7 times, you know? You got to understand, a lot of these victims, when they start off in these relationships, it's not like the person has a big neon sign that says, I'm a narcissist, or I'm going to physically harm you, or all these things that you end up hearing about, right? It doesn't start off like that. It starts off with gaslighting, right? And they find ways of where you may be feeling weak or not confident as much. They find ways to lift your spirits, right? To only shatter them. And these are a lot of the emotional abuses that may not go on and people can't understand, because it isn't like they just say whatever they say to you and then they go away. No, right? I'm so sorry for what I did. You know, sometimes you just get me so angry. And it's stuff like that, and then you start like thinking about yourself in your mind, like, is it me? And so that's why I offer up these things. We have to practice self-love. We have to learn to like set boundaries for ourselves, because that's okay, right? And learn what true love and acceptance is. Because someone's jealous of you, or they feel like, you know, sometimes you think of it like, wow, they really care about me. They really are concerned about where I am at all times, you know, and who's calling my phone. And really, you don't realize that that's just little levels of it. And it, again, it doesn't just happen like you see on the movie Enough, or you see on any of these like domestic violence movies that you see on TV. It's not like that, you know, and everybody's story is different. Everybody's situation can look totally different. Some people may not even get physically abused at all. They could just go through straight emotional abuse. And I think that's even worse, and isolation, because it takes time to kind of get through that. So for me and many others that I worked with, we have found peace and held on to faith. And so for me, I found the word and, you know, reading the Bible and kind of having a better understanding of God loves me. You know what I mean? If anybody else in that moment may not, I know my God loves me, and I know that there's better for me out there. There are other people that find peace in meditation. They find peace in yoga. They find peace in exercising. It gets better, and so I want people to know that, you know, wherever you are right now, just know that you still have another stage, right? You're going to get through that, and you're going to go to another stage, and then you're going to get through that. And you could be 6 months in and think about something that happened 5 years ago, because it's there, right? And so that's why I say people need to take time to heal and better understand the emotional abuse that comes with a lot of this. And so for me, I've always kind of, because it's a plaque that's in my living room, and I look at it all the time when I feel like I can't or I feel weak. It's a passage from Philippians 4:13, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I want you guys to kind of hold on to that and just know that it does get better. So I want to thank everyone for coming. That'll be my spiel. I'm all done. But I do want everyone, give yourselves a clap of hands. and for even coming, because a lot of us, you know, it takes a lot of us to get out of bed and show up. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for the continued support. And I really want to take a moment to shout out the tables that I do have here and the people that I have here. So give them 2 minutes and check out what they got going on in their tables. And shout out to my QCC fam. I love y'all. That's my school. See my professor back there. I love you too. Thank you guys. That's it. And then we'll go on the wall. Yep. Thank you. Oh, where are you? What you mean you ain't gonna walk with us? Run to take a picture with us. Thank you. You gonna walk with us? You did, I know. Did you get to see Professor Kennedy? Okay, good. Oh, well, Mayor, let's picture. Oh. Get a picture. Where's my phone? I don't know. Right there.
It's on live.
It's on live. Oh, you can shut it off.
I don't know how to. Girl, I don't have social media. I don't know how to do that.